Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone of the world. Good morning to you. Good morning, real duct tape bandit. Pretty wicked. Lisa, good morning. Cement shoes, good morning. I hope we are all doing well this morning. I hope we had a terrific weekend. I'm trying to figure out. No, I forgot to turn off my phone. I got a new cell phone and I forgot. I'm still learning the settings of it and trying to figure out how to turn things off. But right now I'm playing around with trying to figure out how to do screen share. Right, Cart, good morning. Carla, good morning. Broken Justice, hello. I'm on time for once. Sure have missed you. Hello to Cement Shoes. Good morning, Broken Justice. I still do like the name a lot more. It fits. I hope you start putting more content back out. Kind of missed your view on how different things around the world, the cases that you're talking about. Well, good. Good morning, Short and Nice, Connie Kelly. Good morning from Connie Kelly and Kevin. Good morning, Kevin. How you doing, sir? Well, I'm glad to hear that you're going to start your channel back up, Broken Justice. Thank you so much, and a compliment coming from you. I'm so glad that you like my name and you want to see my intro. Well, I want to see you actually continue to make content, not just the intro, but to actually make content. I think you have, and everybody out there, we all have life experiences that lead us to where we are today. And as much as we try to keep those influences out of reporting and talking about true crime events that happen around the world, I think we all have a unique perspective because of our life experiences that that we can share along with doing the reporting. As long as we keep the truth and justice part of it number one, we can still talk about the cases that are out there and share our experiences along with it and how it influences us and how we feel and how it affects us. And you never know, the next thing you put out could be something that helps somebody else understand, look, there's somebody else out there who has the same life experiences, who sees things through my lens. So keep on putting content out. Don't stop. Morgela, letters from Haiti. Good morning. Karen, good morning. Kevin says he loved your content and channel. You are one of our favorites. Oh, thank you, Connie Kelly. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I hope you both had a wonderful week. I finally, this is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. So every year, my wife and my daughter buy a new cell phone, and I never do. I always wait for them to buy a new cell phone, and then I take one of their old cell phones, whichever one's in the best working condition, and then I use that as my new cell phone. And it's because I'm cheap. That's what it comes right down to. I would much rather go to Walmart and buy a phone for $60, and then that I can put my SIM card into, and then use, than spend $600 or $1,000 on a cell phone. That's just me. I think it's ridiculous what they charge for some of these phones, and I'm not going to pay it. Well, I finally did. I went out and I bought a new cell phone. This is a Samsung, but it's a 5G, because we're on the 5G network now. But I finally went out and bought one. Hold on, I have a question. What is your opinion on the cash Garen case? Do you suspect AS? Well, letters from Haiti. I haven't read a lot about the case itself. I've read some on it, but I'm not in a position at this moment to make an opinion on it about it. It does appear that there are, well, at least from where I have started to read and what I've read so far on the case, it appears that there's more than what meets the eye and what's being reported. There's some things that seem to be over exaggerated. You know, I'm going to leave it there. But I haven't read enough on it to actually make an opinion on who's the prime suspect or who did what in the case yet. Sexual assault. Yeah. Oops, wrong mouse. Sorry, scrolling up. Totally agree. I've learned so much from you, and life experiences is amazing. I appreciate you so much. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But 12-step lady, good morning. Welcome to the stream. I hope you had a wonderful week. Carla, I do everything with my granddaughter. I hate buying new cell phones because I have to figure them out. New cell phones always outsmart me. Right, Cart? I'm right there with you. I got my cell phone delivered yesterday morning at 9, and it wasn't until this morning that I finally figured out how to move I was like, where the hell are the apps? Because I transferred everything from one phone, all my contacts and photos and stuff like that. I transferred them from one phone to the other, but I couldn't figure out where the hell are the apps? And if it wasn't for me able to actually talk to my daughter, she came over, she was like, swipe, 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 bling, boom, and here it is. And all my apps. I'm like, yes. I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, where the hell is everything? I even the contact, button. I'm like, where's that? Couldn't figure it out. Luckily, I have her here with me, at least for the week, so I could figure it out. Oops. Getting out of the nursing home Monday and staying with me for a little while. That's good news. It's good news, Cement Shoes. I'm a 12-step woman, to let everybody know. 12-step lady, 12-step woman. I'm always dropping it because I have to have my YouTube on, so I carry around everywhere I go. End up dropping it in the toilet twice. Get one of those pop socket things that goes in the back. They stick on the back and then they pop out, so you can slide it in between your fingers. So my wife and my daughter have on the back of their phones, and it doesn't come off. It's not like a suction cup. It's actually got like a sticker pad on the back of it. Queen C, good morning. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well, Queen C. I start Amazon Sunday in South Dakota. Are you working at a call center or a fulfillment center, Queen C? I am well versed in the Amazon system as a third-party seller. Know a lot about it. We have a call center here. Oops, if I open up the top. I think I'm switching back from 12-step woman to 12-step lady to 12-step woman. Oh, this is mistype. Mary Smith. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you had a wonderful week. And Queen C, but you're starting a job at Amazon, working on for Amazon in Arizona. I will start the fulfillment center 4 nights and 30 days off. Well, congratulations, Queen C. Amazon is a good company to work for. I have quite a few friends who work for them in either the the warehouse fulfillment centers or in the call centers. Don't listen to all the negative bull that is out there in the media about them. I mean, everybody wants to tear down those who are doing it right. 6:30 to 3 or 4 a.m. Ooh, well, not the best shift in the world, but work is work. We all have to work to survive, don't we? Debbie Gilligan, good morning. Good morning, Debbie. Hope you had a wonderful week. My sister works for Amazon and she loves it. Miranda, good morning. They don't allow cell phones, but they allow them near your center. It's the shift. You pick that shift. Does it work for your life because you have children or whatever? I can understand that. Yeah, I have a friend who works for Amazon call center here, and they have to turn their cell phones off when they get in the parking lot. They're not allowed to have them on or on their persons there. And where they work, she works doing customer support for Unbox, which is the download part of Amazon's, like downloading movies and music and stuff like that. She answers calls for that. She likes it though. It fits with her schedule because she's working on her master's degree. Amazon is building a fulfillment center by my house. I'm considering getting a second job there, so I have benefits. Alpha female, good morning. Alpha femme. Sorry, Alpha femme. Alpha femme, good morning. I hope you had a wonderful week. 40 hours a week. I used to like working graveyard shift. Gayla, my wife worked a graveyard shift at the hospital for 23 years. She enjoyed it because there was less of the bosses there, and she got to not do her own thing, but she didn't have that somebody breathing down her neck all the time. Ought not be allowed to take people's phones away. What if they need 911? Well, there's plenty of phones in each place. Cement shoes, warehouses. There's they're well stocked, and that they had that. I hate to bring it up, but they had that that shooting that took place at Amazon, and they had I think it was like 14 or 15 calls to 911. And those are just from employees from inside the building, who had were reporting the actual call, but there was only 2 main calls that they actually recorded. From what I know, it's like robot rub warehouse. Then you do the rest. Well, it's basically it. I mean, I've never worked for Amazon in a warehouse, but they have a lot of it is it's the items are picked by an actual robot, because everything has a barcode on it. Barcode for the shelf, barcode for the item. And I used to use Amazon fulfillment as a third-party seller, and it's generally almost always spot on. It doesn't send out the wrong items or pick the wrong items, and then everything is manually packaged by a person. They put the bubble bags in it, sealed the boxes, put the printing label on it. It's a fast-paced environment for the most part, from what I understand, from those who I know who worked in the fulfillment centers. But most of my friends have either switched from either the call center or technical centers. They have a former nuclear silo in South Dakota. Wonder why when you said SD, I know it's a mistake, but they have a call center that's in a former nuclear missile silo in South Dakota. That the phones can be around, but can't be texting or talking for the heck of it. They changed the policy here, at least for COVID. 12-step lady, 12-step has a wonderful ring. It just fits. Ramona, good morning. I hope I didn't miss anybody else. Well, if I did, I'm about to. Carrie Ludwig, good morning, Carrie. My cougar. Great GoFundMe video you did yesterday, Will. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that. Kathy Pulliam, good morning. Michelle P., good morning. Welcome. I hope you all had a wonderful week. Okay, I'm trying something out here. So bear with me if I don't see your message and I don't reply back right away. I'm trying to figure out this stupid screen share option on StreamYard. Faithful one, Will, I was blessed with the new grandson on June 9th, 8 pounds, 3 ounces, proud grandma here. Well, congratulations, faithful one. I'm so happy for you. But I have 6-year-old who will be home, dad. But things can happen, so that's why basically for emergencies, unless your supervisor is cool, it allows a little downtime. Colleen, good morning. All right. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this screen share. So bear with me. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I'm not even sure how to do it. Entire window. Cancel. I got to figure this out. I have to do this. There. I figured it out. You guys should all be seeing a blank half a screen right now, right? Or at least a smaller window, half screen. Stardust, good morning. Yep. All right, now I'm minimized in a small screen, and there should be a large screen that just goes on forever. And your YouTube window. But darn, I figured it out. Okay, Let's just hope that I'm able to remember this for tomorrow. So this is why I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, I know how to bring up people up and put people on the screen. That's not a problem. The problem is what I'm trying to figure out is for Sunday night trivia, how I can share the screen and actually put the trivia question on the screen, so I don't have to repeat it, 2, 3, sometimes 4 times. I can just have the trivia question on the actual screen itself, and with the options is what I want to do. Mike Stevens, are you blocked? Why would you be blocked, Mike? I've never blocked you, Mike. Woohoo! Carrie, you got it. Yep, I got it. Now let's just hope that I can remember this tomorrow. Right, Michelle? That way everybody can just read it and then see the options A, B, C, or D, and along with the question. I'm so not technical. Can't help you. I'm right there, Carla. I've been playing around with this thing. But the problem is every time I go on to StreamYard to try it out, to try to figure it out, it sends out alerts that I'm going live or I am live, which just drives people nuts, because then I have to go back onto YouTube and delete the temporary file that says that I was live. It will save time. Not really, Carrie, because I still have to type the questions up for order to be to put on the screen. So, but that's going to be the easy part, because I write everything down in notebooks. They're all in notebooks. Every single one of the questions are. So, I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be pretty easy. I can just cut and paste them, write them into Word, and then cut and paste them into like, I don't know, something, Paint. I don't know. I'll have to figure that part out later on after the stream. I can email you instructions for that if you would like. For how to bring something up like I just did. Well, I figured that part out, and I know how to bring people up on the screen. That's the easy part. It's just I gotta get to the point where it's new, obviously, so I have to figure out the technical side of how to do it all. Sorry, I thought it was a mistake. Mike, I have no reason to block you. Believe it or not, a lot of people find this, hard to believe, though. So, believe it or not, I think there's a total of maybe 10 people who are blocked from my actual channel. 10. And that took almost 3 years to get to 10. I may not agree with them, and some of those people. I mean, I give them. I say, look, you need to stop doing this. You need to stop doing this, and I give them ample warning. Please just stop, go away, leave my channel, just ignore it, whatever. I give them ample warning before I block them. I mean, just because they may say something or I may not agree with them, I don't block them for that. I want to hear people say, maybe they have a difference of opinion from me. How am I going to learn and grow as an individual if I just block people because I don't agree with them? And there are a lot of channels out there that do. They only want one view, one opinion, for everyone on their channel. I think it's stupid, and that's the honest truth. I want to see other people's opinions. I want to have a conversation about it. We don't have to, at the end of the day, come to an agreement. But, hearing other people's opinions is what helps you grow. The day you stop growing, you stop thinking is the day that you die. I firmly believe in that. I always miss trivia. It's in the middle of the night here. Oh, then yeah, it's Carla. It's at 7 p.m. on the Pacific Daylight Time. So depending upon where you are, in the world, if you're on the East Coast, that's 3 hours. That's something like 10 o'clock, or whatever from when we do it. If you're overseas, then could be over the date line. Teddy's your favorite? I'm surprised I didn't know more about Elaine Wuros. She was your second favorite. I really do feel Eileen, she was dealt a really shitty hand in life. I mean, she didn't have to become a killer, but there's a point where your background and everything that happens to you drives you to in a certain direction in life. And for Eileen, that she made that conscious effort. I want to say that maybe it wasn't. She might have been, in blackout rage when she did each and every one of them. If you listen to her and her view of it, what she said, but she was dealt a shitty hand, and there are a lot of people in this world that should really have been held accountable for what happened to her, and over and over and over again. The system failed her so miserably. And it's sad. It really is. Of all the people out there that I've studied who become serial killers or mass killers or spree killers, that have committed some of the most horrific crimes in this world, I've never read a story, quite like hers. From the age of 4 years old on, every adult in her life abused her in one way or another. Every single adult. Yeah, she was. Imagine that, though. Not by her account, but by the accounting of the actual state. By the time that Eileen was 9 years of age, 9 years old, she was already committing small burglaries to feed herself, theft to feed herself, because there was no food in the home. And by the age of 9, she was already sexually active. By the age of 9, she'd already been abused by not one, but 3 adults. And the state, in their own records, knew of it. They knew, but nobody stepped in to stop it. Nobody did anything for it. They just let it go on. And then after her grandmother died, who wasn't even the best for her, but she would, her grandmother, who was her adoptive mother, and even when she, was there, she was somewhat of a buffer between her and her grandfather. But I don't know. We could go down that forever. Or no, never in foster care. Her biological father was in prison around the time that she was born, and he committed suicide in prison. Mom couldn't handle it after her brother was born and abandoned them both and just walked away. Their biological grandmother, they went from her mother walking away directly to their grandmother, who adopted both of her and her brother, and became the adoptive mom and dad, grandpa and grandma. And the abuse started right then and there. According to Eileen, it started the day she walked into that house. So it's not just poor kids too. I understand it may happen more in Connie, and in families, in situations where the social economic level is low, poor, but it happens even in those who are rich or well off. I've read cases, of Robert Durst and some of the things that happened in the Durst family. I mean, these people were, multimillionaires, in that family, and some of the most disgusting things took place in that family to children. No wonder why I always wonder why they didn't all become, mass murderers. Some of them took, there was intervention where they got out of the situation and they spent, 6-7 years, in boarding school, and obviously got them out of the situation because they could afford it. But yeah, and things like that, I can't put on my channel. It depresses the hell out of so many people. A lot of children who are sexually assaulted, they tend to act out in the same way at a young age. So they won't get called it being sexually active. No, this is true, Miranda. They act out the same way that they've been abused. Danielle Colby, good morning. Welcome to the stream. I hope you had a wonderful week, Danielle. Have you ever read A Child Called It? I got so upset I had to put the book down. No, Connie, I have not read that. Carla. Jodi Arias is a giant piece of, excrement. She didn't have a terrible childhood. She just wants to blame everything on somebody else. She's just one of those people out there that's going to find, if this doesn't fit and nobody believes me, this is the reason why I did it, then this is it. She's just going to go on and on and on. And she's never going, I don't think she's capable of ever really fully accepting responsibility for what she did. And then that's just the way she is. I mean, God. I think she really could be, I don't think she's ever been diagnosed with any, real mental health issues, but I think she's bipolar, and on top of, being probably, a psychopath. She fits a lot of, the boxes for both of them, but I don't think she's ever been diagnosed with anything professionally. This is true. Okie dokie, and good morning, okie dokie. Childhood trauma is deeper than we know sometimes. Absolutely. It can turn people one way or another in a heartbeat. We're all, who we are today, we are directly affected in some way by our past experiences and where we've been and when we grew up, and those around us. We can either, at some point, depending upon how what the level of trauma is, that affects us. Excuse me. It can send you one way or another. I mean, I know that some of the traumatic things that happened in my life early on deeply affected me and pushed me in the opposite direction from those actions and events. I was on bed rest while pregnant and watched the total Jodi Arias case. Oh, Colleen, not Connie. Why do I always want to say Connie every time I see your name? Colleen. Colleen, yes. Definitely, she has a lot of narcissistic personality issues. The whole thing about Sylvia Likens broke my heart. Jodi Arias makes me not feel so bad about not having a son because I don't want to worry about him hooking up with a psycho wacko girl. Yeah. Yeah, we do our best though, and we raise our children. We do our best, and we hope that everything works out. It's all you can do. You can learn a lot, learn how not to be from your parents and abusers. This is true, Gayla. And I don't want people to take my what I said to mean that those who are weaker, in a trauma in their early life, because they're weaker, it affects them in a negative way. I don't mean that at all. I mean that you can learn from, if you can find a way to step away from the actual trauma or events when you're from younger years, you can learn from it, and it may push you in a completely different direction. But I'm only speaking from my own experience. I mean, I was never sexually abused, but I watched a lot of shit happen in my lifetimes, excuse my language, when I was younger, that made me realize that life is way too short, and we only all get a finite amount of time on this world, and to hate someone because of the color of their skin, their religion, or anything like that it's stupid. I mean, people have fear, but I feared the meth head down the street, the tweaker, the white guy who's tweaking in the park. I fear him more than the Hispanic guy who's mowing the lawn next door. And I say that because the guy is the Hispanic. He mows the lawns, in the front yards of all the homes in our home division. They want to change the name of it from homeowners association to home division. You can break the cycle, yeah. Alpha Femme. You definitely can break the cycle. That's the media, though. 12-step lady, 12-step woman. That's the media. It's like right now, there is plenty of things that are happening in the James Hutchinson case, but the media is not reporting on it because it's not sensationalized enough, to air on the evening news. Was it Dire Straits that they had that song in the 80s? If nothing sells faster than a sex scandal or a death, for the evening news. Got to sell those papers. Got to get people to tune in. But it's like if you just Google James Hutchinson case, there hasn't been anything in 10 days. And just yesterday, there were divers who were out checking the actual depths of the river there where they threw James in. They didn't report that. Just like Jodi Arias' parents. They don't want to talk about that because everybody was focused on Jodi Arias and what she did. And likewise, what about Travis? What about all the shit that Travis and his family went through? Why didn't they report on that? My first best friend was Arabic American. My second best friend was Vietnamese American. To me, they were just two kids. Yep. I've got some stories I could share about that. About friends I had who they were Laotian. They were from Laos, but don't hurt the kids. That's a damn good golden rule. Okie dokie. I am still here. You may not see me. You may see my icon on the screen. Actually, it's my old one. I haven't updated it. But I am still here. My one son he just attracted a psycho girls. And believe me, I'm exhausted from it. Yeah. But Regina, tweakers are a whole different level, but there is hope. I have a nephew who got hooked on meth, and he burned every bridge in the family and extended family and every friend of the family, not once but twice, at least twice. He burned every damn bridge twice. He drove people apart from each other. He played people against each other constantly during his addiction. And after 7 years of him being in and out of jail, on drugs, stealing everything that he could get his goddamn hands on to, feed his addiction. Finally, 5 years ago, he got clean. And he had just this past April, he celebrated his 5-year anniversary of being clean. And it was that one thing that knocked him off the path that he was on. He wasn't ready to quit. He'd already been to rehab, several times by that time, forced by the courts, forced by the family. Nothing worked. But there is hope. For everybody out there that that may be dealing with an addiction problem, there is hope. As long as there is hope, that's the one thing. Hope is a powerful thing. Wow. More of them die from it than they that make it out alive, Colleen. You're right. But every once in a while, there is, that those who do get out there, who are able to find a way to, put the book to use. Here's my nephew, 12-step lady. NA and AA. It was the only thing that saved him. That and a judge giving him one option. He was looking at either doing 3.5 years in prison for series of forgeries and thefts and probation violations. I don't know what he was looking for on that, but the total thing, he was looking at 3.5 years on just the crimes that brought him in. Altogether, he would have probably done closer to 10 years. And the judge looked at him and said, "You're 22 years old. You have wasted your life to this point. I'm completely wasted your life. I'm going to give you two options. One, I can throw the book at you and send you away for 10 years, and I don't think it's going to help you a damn bit, because in 10 years you're going to get out and just do the same damn thing you're doing now. Or I'm going to send you someplace, not for 60 days or 90 days, but I'm going to send you to someplace where you have to go for the next 2 years. 2 years. Where they're not only going to take care of your addiction, they're going to find out where your addiction stems and where it comes from. And by the grace of God, he chose that option. I have his, it used to be his AA book. I have it around here somewhere. I think it might be out on the bookshelf. I don't think it's in here on this one. He sent it to me to give to a friend of mine, but I didn't get it in time. And my friend Thomas ended up taking his own life because he couldn't deal with the addiction anymore. But that was 6 years ago that my friend Thomas passed. Promising life, promising, musician, singer. He did so much in the short 25 years that he lived. Unfortunately, in the end, he took his own life. Sadly. I missed some comments. Angie Lee, good morning. Your nephew died of a heroin overdose while in jail in his early 20s. I'm sorry about that, Carrie. When someone close to you has a problem with drugs, it's hard. Do you just let them go because you're afraid they'll end up? I'll tell you what happened with my sister and the rest of the family when it came to my nephew. We got to the point where we had a family meeting and we decided that we just couldn't allow him around anybody anymore in the family. And we all had to sit down as a group because we weren't going to be able to do any kind of intervention with him. He didn't see that, what he was doing. It's hard when you're living one fix to the next fix to the next fix to the next fix. It's hard to break that cycle, to get him to even sit down and have a conversation with you. And so we just decided, tough love was the only thing that we could do, and it was devastatingly hard for my sister to have to sit down, and say, and actually come to terms with the fact that she had to let him go. It's just her baby. She, and she did the best that she could for him, but she couldn't save him from himself. That's hard. Yeah, I always tell people, meth doesn't just destroy the addict. Meth destroys the entire family. And the same thing as you said, Colleen, is that addiction, doesn't just affect the addict. It affects everyone. Everyone around them. wonder where that book is. I know I have it around here somewhere. I saw it not too long ago. Might be in the house on the bookshelf. Makes me wonder. I was thinking if my siblings were in jail, maybe they'd be alive today. But everyone said, let drugs, like you said, get drugs in jail also. Yeah, I know for my nephew, drugs were just another stop. I mean, a jail was just another stop to get drugs. Jail didn't help him, and the judge knew. Luckily, he had a judge who was willing to, set it aside. I think if he goes like another 2 years and he's able, he stays clean, I think they're going to expunge his record or drop the charges or something. But he's making restitution and everything else for towards the crimes. He's never going to make restitution back to the family. I mean, and he's working. He works his program, and he's trying, actually really making an effort for the first time in his life to put his life back together. And it's hard. You get down there to the point where you've destroyed everything. He was basically starting from zero. There wasn't anybody after that point that was going to help him after he got out of the treatment program that the judge sent him to. But good morning, Mary. How are you doing this morning, Mary? I hope that you've had a terrific week. Broken Justice, what happened to my nephew? He's living his life now. So he went from absolutely nothing. He avoided a 10-year prison sentence by going to a 2-year drug and treatment center. He completed his 2-year treatment center, requirement. He got out, went to a halfway house, and that was I think they were all drug addicts who were in the halfway house that he was sent to. He got a probation officer and had to find a job while he was in the halfway house. They weren't going to let him go, and from there he had to pay room and board while he was at the halfway house, so he had to get a job. One of the counselors who was at the place where he was sent to put him in contact with a company that hires ex-cons and drug addicts who are in recovery. He got a job working in a metal processing plant. They process sheets of steel, I guess, for construction. I don't know if they actually make anything or if they just process it or whatever. But he went to work there. He's still there to this day. He's now married. He has 2 children of his own, and all of that within 6 years, 7 years. I think he has to go 2 more years before they're going to expunge, or they're going to drop the charges, or they're going to do something. And because if he stays clean, this will be the longest period of time that he's been clean. I mean, right now, since he was 16, because he started using meth when he was 16. So, and meth, heroin, opioids, you name it. If it's out there, that boy did it all. Karen, good morning. There are not enough drugs and treatment programs, and aftercare is poor. I totally get the family pain. My mother is brutal. Well, that's true that when it comes to aftercare and treatment centers, That's a huge, and you can lump mental health in there as well. When it comes to that in America, we don't have anywhere near what we should. We don't. Insurance companies don't pay for it, and what they do pay for it may be only a year's worth of or 3 months worth of or 30 days worth of actual in patient care for anything, and then they just stop paying because there's no money in it for them. They make more money on you being sick and being addicted than they do, of you being well. That's the truth. And when it comes to their shareholders, they got to look out for their shareholders. They're not looking out for you, me, or anybody else. But there is a huge issue there. Good morning, Linda. Hello, everyone. What's going on? How are you? I'm doing well, Linda. I'm doing the best I can. We have 30 days only free in Canada. You only get 30 days for free. Al-Anon saved my life. They told me to get away from the situation immediately. That was basically what we did for my nephew, Karen, was we went through kind of like a program with a counselor. The entire family did to realize that that we are all dependent, codependent, or we were all enabling him, to continue down that path. And we had to, as a family, because we're spread out over 3 states. And he would use, and the addicts are really good at this, and they were pitting each other, all the family members against each other. And then, one girlfriend or, of his or whatever would, it's just, they would do it to another family. And it was anything to get their, their fix. But we realized, through help that we got that, we didn't have to continue down this path. We gave him the ample opportunities, and we tried, and we prayed, and we did everything we could for him. It was now in his hands. He needed to make the change, not us. He needed to take the first steps, but he didn't. Because after we cut him off, he still used for another 3 years. And luckily, if it wasn't for in and out of jail, he would have been dead. Good morning, Mr. Vengeance. Hello, fellows and ladies. My daughter is forced me to have him here. I hate being trapped. I'm sorry about that, Mary. It's hard. It's wee Scottish lassie. Good morning. It's tea time here in Scotland. Sun is out. How's your day been? Doing great. I hope you are doing great, wee Scottish lassie. Hope you had a terrific week. It's a one and only choice for those who are in addiction. It's true, Linda. It is very true. Trudeau was a cuddling queen. Who pushed the queen? God save the queen. In case you guys don't get that reference, God save the queen. Apparently, Jamie Taylor, good morning. Welcome to the stream, Jamie. Hope you had a wonderful week. Trudeau was cuddling the Queen at the summit. Karen, I was trying to save my dad from the situation. My mother had charged my dad with abuse, and he's been in jail many times. He almost lost his job as a firefighter, but in the end, my dad stayed. Jamie Taylor, what's my thoughts on Biden? Well, I'd have to break that down because that's kind of vague, in the question you're asking, Jamie. What do I think about his policies? What do I think about his political party? What do I think about him as an individual? That's kind of vague. So let's take one at a time, I guess, right? I'm neither a Democrat or a Republican. I am none of the above. I believe in voting for and being in voting for the person I believe is going to do the best job for the for the situation. If I need somebody who's going to be fiscally responsible, I would rather have somebody else. I don't think Biden's the person for that. But I also don't think that Trump was the best person for that when it comes to being fiscally responsible. Do I, like the Democratic Party? I hate them all. I hate the Republicans. I hate the Democrats. And I hate especially those who vote down the party line and don't look at the fact that some of these people have been in power for far too long and have, basically a blank check to do whatever the hell they want. They go to Washington and become millionaires by the time that they've even served a 4-year term. How is that possible? Who are they really looking out for? Are they looking out for your interest, my interest, or are they looking out for the interest of the special powers? For those who will pay for their, attention, because they're not. They're supposed to be there for me and you, but they're not. Do I think that, what do I think about Biden as an individual? I think he's creepier than fuck. Sorry for my language, but I think he's a creepy old dude. Nancy and Mitch gotta go. I would start with those. I would actually put into law Mike, a series of reforms that says you get X amount of years total in political power. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're in Congress or in House of Representatives or wherever you are, you get X amount of years. And I would make that 8 years. 8 years total. That's it. You're done. Out the freaking door. Let's get some people in there who are actually going to care and who are going to do something constructive. 8 years. You can't make this your lifelong goal to be a politician. And once you become elected to office, it's hard to get people out of office. People look at their ballots, and unfortunately, I'm sorry to say this, ladies and gentlemen, but it comes to Americans, people don't read their voter pamphlets. Majority don't. They vote for the persons they know. They're like, oh, I don't know who this guy is, but this guy, I recognize that name. I'll vote for him. Or they look at their ballot and they go, well, I'm more closely aligned with the Republican Party, so I'm just going to vote Republican down the damn ticket. And then in some states, you don't have a choice. You are registered as a Republican, you have to vote Republican. You're registered as Democrat, you have to vote Democrat. The whole system's fucking rigged against us. That's why I don't talk about politics. And I'm sorry about my language, but it just pisses me off. There's so many things in this world that we could actually get something accomplished and get something done, to better our lives and to better the world. But we don't, because we allow special interests to buy their way and their protection through the system. Minnesota is Democrat. Depends on where you're at, Linda. My family, who's upstate, you know, from oh, let's just say from Stacy, Minnesota, going up, Brainerd, Little Falls, St. Cloud, going up to International Falls. 100% of my family that's up that way are all Republican. They vote Republican for every presidential election, you name it. But then again, those who are in and around the Minneapolis and St. Paul area, in Edina to Mankato, not so much. My family was in Mankato, but a couple of them, and then going over into my family, it's in Wisconsin. A lot of them are Republican, but the state may vote, Democrat or Republican, but it's a mixed bag there. I don't understand them. But they vote down power lines just about every damn year, and it pisses me off. That's why I turn off my Facebook, and you won't see me anytime on Facebook during, the presidential elections or, off year, when they're doing the elections. I avoid it like the plague. I'd rather have sharp, metal pokers poked in my, my ass than have to, listen to and see the shit that they post on Facebook during the political season runoff. 12-step lady, isn't that funny? Yeah, he wanted Trump, and then he got busted for actually filling out, Suzanne's ballot for Trump. It's supposed to be widespread fraud the opposite direction. But they keep on busting these idiots who voted for Trump. And I say that because the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Find the factual information and show it to me, and I'll talk about that. But that's what's been caught so far. And Barry Morphew did fill out his ballot and sign it, for his missing wife for Trump. Thinking about brushing up on my high school French and moving to Quebec. There you go. Quebec's nice. Cement shoes. I like Quebec. I'd move more to Montreal, that area, but that's just me. One for Prez, not me. I'm smart enough to know that I don't want to be in politics. I won't even run for school board. My wife, different story, Linda. Different story with Crystal. Crystal will run for she has in the past. She has run for school board, but she does it. It's more of a joke than anything else. It's like we don't want to vote for any of the people running, so she'll just throw her name in the hat and pay for and register to be on the primary ballot or whatever. We have a 3-step system here for school board. First, they have the general election, then they have a runoff, and then those two people meet each other for the position in the end. So she's throwing her name in the hat, and what was it? Was it Brewster's Million, where he was like, vote for none of the above, kind of thing. I think it was Brewster's Million. I can't remember, but I know it was. Pretty sure it was Brewster's Million. Vote none of the above. Michelle, your husband is from Quebec. If the Expos were still around, the baseball team, Major League Baseball, if they're still around, I'd move there. But they're not. So I love baseball too much. I can tell you all have Quebec, all Quebec to migrate to here in the winter. South Florida. Good morning, Robin. I hope you had a wonderful week. Robin McDonald sings it with snowflakes on. Short Nice lives in Alberta. Don't know any French, and I didn't try learning. Go Twins. Yeah. I grew up, sorry, Linda, but I grew up a Brewers fan. I didn't start rooting for the Twins until what? I'm sorry, you guys stretch. Yawn. Uh, was it 85 when they're in the World Series? Because I was going to school in Minneapolis at that time. It was 85 or 86 when they were in the World Series the first time, whichever it was. But they actually let us out of school early so we could go home and watch the game. And the game, they were actually, I think they were playing game 6 and 7 at the Hubert H. Humphrey Dome downtown. That was exciting. Maybe it was the second time that they're in the World Series. I can't remember. After so many years, Linda, my mind is just like, it's filled with so much more. Got to dump some of the information out of it so I can try to recall some of the finer details. I gotta move this. Hold on. Too many tripods and things in the way around here. Oh, there's that stupid phone I was looking for. Gone Girl, how is little man? Little man is doing great. He was out of school Wednesday and Thursday this past week. He got a little bit of a cough and congestion, and then with a mild fever. And so the school system told us, he can't be at school with the cough and cold. We're like, we were going to send him to school anyways with it. But then they wouldn't let him go back until he got a COVID test, which was not a problem. Took him in for, the rapid test, no COVID. But Monday is his last day of school for the year. And so he'll be back Monday. He'll go to school Monday for the last day of the year. And then after that, he's going to have about 3 weeks of actual vacation time. He's going to be spending time here at home, all day long with Daddy. So Daddy's going to get plenty of hugs and kisses and cuddles, because he loves to cuddle up with me on the couch and read. He'll read his The Heart. I don't know what they're like, the story books, but they're the Heart pages. They're not like individual pages, but he likes to read those. And with me, so we'll sit on the couch and we'll read those. We'll go to the park and enjoy our summer for at least for the next 3 weeks. And then he starts 2 days a week. We have him in speech therapy classes, occupational therapy classes. So it's both. One day it's occupational, the next day it's speech. So and those are on Monday, Tuesday. And then he has a class that we sign him up through our community center, where he will be doing dance and other things, other activities that they for other children with autism and those with barriers who can't necessarily follow along with other programs that they have within the school system or summer programs. But it's mainly children with autism or Down syndrome. So he'll be doing that 1 day a week. So that's, he does that Monday, Tuesday, goes to occupational therapy and speech therapy, off Wednesday, and then Thursday he has the program through the Parks and Recreation Department, through the community center. So we've got him, pretty busy, activity wise to keep him active. Excuse me. And then at home, we have an at home program that for working towards keeping him up to speed on learning of where he is and where he is fallen a little bit behind, because he has what's called an IEP, an individual progress report, education report, and there's some areas that he's lacking where other children who are going into kindergarten actually are caught up to. So we're working on trying to meet those goals or get him to those levels where he has been shown to be behind. But otherwise, Mary, he is doing wonderful. He's making a huge progress in sounding out words and words, colors, and numbers, and especially because of your generosity in helping us with getting the headphones and microphones for his program, so he can actually hear himself, as he's saying. They say the word, the program does, and then he's supposed to repeat the word, sound it out. And these aren't huge words, ladies and gentlemen. They're simple words. Like ball. He has a problem with, say the al, skipping the all sound. He'll B and then he'll pronounce the L. So, and that's with a lot of words, not just that word. But with the headphones and the microphone that's built into it, he's able to hear feedback from it in real time, and it's able to help him correct the actual pronunciation of the word. So right now, even if he doesn't understand what each and every letter, and consonant and vowel, the sound of them all are, and it does go through that, sounding out each and every one, he's able to understand and build the building blocks of figuring out why when you put these words together, they make these sounds. So I hope that answers your question, Mary. And thank you again. I try, Mike. I try my best. And that's all any parent can ever do, is we try our best and we do the best we can. I've made mistakes, and whenever I make mistakes, though, I try to correct them and I try to do better, from that point on, make sure I don't make the same mistakes. That's why people should, read a lot more history, because we're doomed to make the same mistakes as a country and as individuals if we don't know, learn from the mistakes of the past. Speech therapy really helped my son when he was younger. He has autism too. Yeah. At school, we had him in Carrie. We had him in the early learning center, and most of the children who were in his class, he's got one day left, but most of the children who were in his class are speech delayed. So they had a speech therapist who worked one-on-one with the teacher each and every day in the actual classroom. It's a great pilot program. We're still not sure if they're going to get funding to continue to keep it going from here on out. I think they have. Me and my wife are looking at it, and we think they have 2 more years, or is it? We're not sure if it's this year and then next year, and then they have to go back to the school board and show that they're actually what this pilot program is working. Because otherwise, the early childhood program through like Head Start and stuff like that, because this was incorporated not only with Head Start, but it was incorporated in the actual early learning center itself across the board. If they can't prove that it's actually and show that it's actually been an improvement, and that's hard to quantify. Like, how do you actually quantify that? As a teacher, that you have done your job for the student. You can't put standardized testing involved, and say, look, he's able to fill out a bubble, Tron sheet. We've got him on the road to regurgitating exactly what you want. Each kid is individual, and each one of them has barriers and things that they need. Some need structure. Some need structure and more occupational. Some need structure, and then they have anger issues, or they're excited, or maybe they have attention deficit disorder on top of their autism. And you can't, judge, student C against student A. So it's going to be interesting when the reports come out and they have to go back and petition for more funding to keep the program going. I know personally for our son, just how much it's made a world of difference for him, a world of difference. And unfortunately, he did lose 3 months of in-school curriculum. The school board decided it was unsafe for any child to go to school, and they had to do it by Zoom. That didn't help at all. It's not the way that he learns, and it's not the way that it was going to help him. So I hope that where you are, I hope they have something that is that's able to help your son now, Carrie. Now in North Cal, they are requiring goals to be reassessed every six weeks rather than quarter. Wow. And V, welcome to the stream, V. Sorry, the first couple times I saw the name, I thought it was there's somebody else here who was using the name Vengeance. I thought it was Vengeance, so I just saw the V, and it didn't click with me that we have two different people here. That's insane. Every 6 weeks, ALS is great for nonverbal kiddos. What works the best for my son that has actually helped is from birth. Well, when I shouldn't say birth, but when the signs were there that he was not developing, the verbal skills like a normal toddler could and should have been, and he was completely almost mute. We started teaching him sign language right then and there. And that's not just me or my wife. It was me, my wife, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my daughter. Everybody learned. If you didn't know sign language, you picked up the basics of sign language, and that was something where even then, if he knew he couldn't communicate, we could repeat the signs to him, and so we could have some form of communication with him, and it worked out immensely. Because even as he was unable to verbally communicate with us what he wanted or what he needed, he was able to sign basic things that he wanted. He wanted up, or he wanted a hug, or whatever. Just basic things. To be able to, he's like, hey, you know what? I did that, and you can see the light go off in his head. That he was able to finally be able to communicate with us. And he still signs to this day. We all sign with him. But another thing that really was beneficial was they have a program that he has on. He actually has a physical book, and then he has the program on his tablet. It's called the PEX book. I think it's spelled PEXX, but I could be wrong. But it actually has pictures, and there's like a little tear-off thing. Talking about the actual physical book, it has little Velcro pictures of things, and he can put things together in a sentence. I want, I need, and then the picture of the item, and then the word please, or need to, and everything is in it, from going to the bathroom, potty training, everything is in this book. And now he has the version on his tablet that he has. And something for the parents out there who may not know it, but there are 2 different versions of the Amazon Kindle Fire. There is a Kindle Fire for kids, it comes in a blue shockproof case, which is easily removed. And then they have another version that has a thicker screen that will stop them from being able to break the actual screen. I think it takes a lot more pressure, but comes in a hard case than a rubber soft case on the outside of it that is a lot more durable. But you have to actually search for it. It doesn't come up on Amazon directly, because they'd rather sell you, just like any business, the regular version, so you can just keep on buying them over and over again. Vengeance is mine, Vanessa. V for vengeance. I'm sorry. I'm new to this chat. I don't know vengeance, Reichart. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I know who vengeance is. That's okay, though. Oh, cement shoes. I could tell you who I think it is, but I'm not 100% sure. He changes around. I mean, he might still be here in the just not talking right now. But yeah, whoever vengeance is, we've never seen the actual name before, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I welcome everybody, and I want everybody to take part, and to be here. So again, welcome. My mom votes based on looks. I've met people like that, Robin. I have definitely met people like that, based on looks, color of tie. Whenever I'm watching football, my wife comes in the room. She's like, "What teams are those?" And I tell her this is the Seahawks and the San Diego Chargers. She looks at them and says, I like those uniforms better. I'm voting. I hope that they win. I'm like, really? I'm still here. Patty, and if you're in the stream, I will get to the Facebook page request after this stream. So, and welcome to the Full Now True Crime page on Facebook. If y'all haven't joined the Facebook group, not page, group. So just make sure you're searching for the right one when you go on Facebook. But I think we have 620 or 620 something members there now. I'm still here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry for being quiet. I'm checking on something right now. Do 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 do. It's important that I check on this. Sorry, I hate to stop the stream like this or not be talking or reading your comments, but if I don't check on it now, I'll forget about it, and then I won't do it. All right, I'm back. I've done journaling for years. Does anyone else do journaling? Okie dokie, I do. I have since I was 18 or so, right in there. There was a small period of about 2 years where I didn't, though, but pretty much I've done it since I was 18. Every day I make sure I write something in the journal. I have mine right here. A little dusty because I dropped it on the floor. I gotta vacuum and clean this later. I have a whole bunch of these. I bought them at it was a store that was going out of business. It was a what they call it, kind of like a office supply store. I bought boxes of, I think there's 150 in each box. Reichert, your father was autistic. Bet he was still a great man, though. I make sure I write something in it every day. Me too. I actually have on VHS. You have what on VHS? Do kids even remember what VHS tapes are, or even know what they are? I buy some of them from you, Will. I think I have. I'm obviously not close to the box right now. It's inside the house, but I think I only have like 10 or so of them left. I mean, I've been using them for years. I think one or two of them may have walked away with my daughter over the years. Tyassen Park. What is this about? Well, as the title of the actual live stream says, Tennyson Parks. You pronounce it Tennyson? I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but Tennyson. Like the title says, this is just a general chat, and I do this every Saturday. This is actually the 181st Saturday morning stream that I've done, and only a couple of those 180 plus have had an actual topic. It's just a general chat where we ask questions, we talk, and we catch up with each other. Especially during this COVID, crisis, or whatever you want to call it, whatever you believe, but shutdown. Just making sure everybody is okay. And we talk about everything from the weather to true crime, because that's what my channel is mainly about. People ask, and we talk about crime. We talk about today we've covered drug addiction, crime, Jodi Arias. It makes me want to vomit in my mouth just thinking about her. There is no topic. There never is. Almost never is, I should say that. I wonder how many have watched LOL, been here a while. Watch Short Nice. How many have watched the stream? There's no crying in baseball, Robin. Where's that from? No crying in baseball. That Bull Durham? No. You'd be surprised. Short nice. So in here in the stream, like there's right now there's 31 people in here right now. We within 2 hours of this actual stream finishing, I'll have a couple hundred people who will watch it, and then over the week, a couple hundred more. But right now, this is being broadcasted to YouTube. I'm on StreamYards broadcasting to YouTube, but it's also broadcasting to Twitter, and it doesn't count how many people watch it through Twitter. It never has and never will. That's why I tell people, a lot, especially those who are creators out there, well, I'm sure Linda, and Broken Justice understand this. I hope they do. But when it says views, that is views that are only directed. They have to come from Google or from within YouTube. It only counts those views. It doesn't count the worldwide views. And you can go into analytics and it'll show you, this percentage of your views are coming from here, 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 and here. It doesn't count Yahoo. It doesn't count Bing. It doesn't count if they're coming from Facebook. It doesn't count if they're coming from Twitter. It doesn't count if they're coming from a website that may be hosting your stream. It doesn't count Patreon. It doesn't count any other hosting site. It only counts YouTube views only. So when your views and likes and everything else, the numbers, it's only a small fraction of what you're actually really getting. To answer your question, Tyson, it's not that much caffeine. It's other stuff. I swear. They try to pass off it's caffeine, but you really don't need to sleep and go crazy. Just woke up this morning thinking I must have had a lot to do with the murders. Hi, Starfire. Welcome to the stream, Starfire. Anita. League of Their Own. Damn it. Oh, yeah. Tom Hanks. The ladies. There's no crying in baseball. Now I remember. Thank you, Anita. Oh, that was a great movie. League of Their Own. Female baseball players during the World War II. There wasn't enough men to field things. Thrive. Gone Girl. Oh, yeah. That's why a lot of people that, unfortunately, YouTube creators who are just starting off, they get into, it's easy to fall down this rabbit hole because I've been there. They see like, look, there's only been one person who's watched it or one person who's liked it, or 10 people who watched it or 10 people who liked it. That's only the YouTube algorithm itself and the likes and interactions. Now, YouTube has a plethora of other information that they don't share with the creator. Length of actual watch time. They show you the length of watch time that is just from YouTube. They don't share the information of like this person and all these other people were watching from Twitter, Bing, Yahoo, wherever they may have been watching it through. And all that data, and all those people watched 100% of the content from beginning to end, or maybe they watched 90% of it and they turned off the last 5 minutes of it. They don't share that data with them. They have it though, but you can fall down that rabbit hole, looking at the data and going, well, I only got 2 thumbs up on this video. Apparently, nobody liked the content, and YouTube is actually bad at pitching that as like, look. The last video you did on this subject, maybe you should do more of those because it got a lot more likes. This video got a lot more watch time. I've had videos that have gone absolutely freaking viral on Twitter that have gotten, 30, 40,000 shares, on Twitter, but only got maybe 10 on YouTube. The video on Cindy Watts, Chris Watts' mom, and her interview. I think it's got what 600,000 views on YouTube, and like 3.5 million on total of all the other social media platforms that I posted it on. But hey, it has 600,000 on YouTube. I'm supposed to judge my self-worth and my, how well I'm doing on just YouTube analytics. And that's what they want. Don't you look at all the other ones. You just look at this one. Tom Hanks. Yeah, Tom Hanks was the coach in A League of Their Own. I'm trying to wonder about Thrive itself, but Watts is one example. I don't really want to talk about Watts, more the positive, negative aspect of Thrive. I don't know too much about the actual Thrive company itself. I mean, other than they're basically a pyramid scheme. Just that there's so many of them out there. I mean, hell, you could say that Mary Kay Cosmetics and Tupperware are pyramid schemes, and so many others that are companies that have been out there forever. Does their product actually work? I don't think so. I mean, if you exercise and eat well, you will lose weight. You have to take in less than you actually burn. But we all know that the Tupperware works, and we all know that Mary Kay cosmetics look good. But do these other companies that are out there, do they work? We'll see if they're around in 10 years from now. There is Tyson. In the patches, they have a basically a natural stimulant in them that is kind of like speed, but it's just like when it comes to synthetic marijuana, people or spice. Excuse me. That people smoke, it'll get them high temporarily. It's not marijuana, but it's synthetic, because you can make anything you want in a laboratory. Well, you can synthesize something that has the same effects on the human body, like speed, and then you put it in a patch. Yeah, it's basically speed, but it's not speed itself. It's a synthetic. I have lots of Anita. I have lots of Tupperware, and no joke, the older I get, the more I try to collect the 1970s Tupperware, and stuff like that. I mean, I've got like the old Tupperware pitchers that we use for juice in our refrigerator. I've got the containers on the counter that have sugar and salt and flour in them. I've got Tupperware plates that we use in cups and silverware. We have in a bin, and with one of those snap-on tops. We use that. We put that in our car for going on picnics. It works great. MLMs are gross. Main moneymaker is recruiting. Not judging anyone, just saying. The Chito, welcome. Madachito. I hope you had a wonderful week. But yeah, basically, the higher up the pyramid you get, or the levels, and the more people you recruit beneath you, you make residuals off of them. You sell to them, they then sell to somebody else, and you're making money from down. And that's how Shannon Watts made a lot of her money, was by pitching the products, selling the products. But she made more money by recruiting and getting more people underneath her to sell products, and then she sold products that she bought in bulk to her downline, who then marked them up and then tried to sell them to other people. So buy low, sell high, just like the stock market. Carrie, you love old school Tupperware. There's one item that has eluded me for 20 plus years. I'm gonna find it, and when I do, I'll move on to something else. But Tupperware used to make a series of coffee cups in connect. They did it with Dixie, the Dixie Paper Cup Company, but it was a coffee cup that you actually snapped a actual paper Dixie cup into, and it made a coffee cup. But the plastic was just the base and the handle itself, and it had a little part that clipped onto the Dixie cup lid. They made them for, I think, a 2-year period, like 1969, 70, or 70, 71, and somewhere in there. But they only made them for 2 years, and I'm gonna find those suckers. And when I do, I'm going to have them. It's just something that always reminded me when I was a child that my father used to drink coffee out of every morning. But so it has that sentimental value of it. Connie Kelly, I admire Shanann Watts. So do I. So do I. Tragic loss. The line of lids. Make my own and sell it on Amazon. Well, see, the thing is I've short and nice. I've actually seen the cups on eBay, but they didn't have any of the paper cups to go with them. So all you're doing is getting basically the base part of it, and then it goes up like this. It's got a little plastic part, and it's got the handle on it. That's all you're getting. That's all Tupperware made. The actual cup itself was made by Dixie Cup. It was a paper cup that snapped into the base, so it was disposable. So you didn't have to wash the actual cup. You just washed the plastic, part that was made by Tupperware. But I've seen them on eBay, but they didn't. Every time they come up on eBay, very rarely, they don't have any of the paper cups to clip into them. So it's only half of the actual item that I need. Need the whole thing. Who else remembers crock pots that were one container and not made out of plastic? They were so good. I have one, Colleen, crock pot that was like that. Well, it's like that. I mean, I have two round ones, and then I have an oval one. They're made out of ceramic. I think they are, right? Ceramic and metal. We got them from my wife's grandparents when, her grandfather was last one. Grandmother passed first, then her grandfather. And then we went in to clean out the estate. We got them. I think they have that 1970s color to them. The disgusting brown with green and orange. All three of them are that way. With some kind of flowery pattern on them. But they work. You have one too, Mary? If anyone is following Joseph Ray Daniels' murder trial, there's a verdict. CME Fashionable. Welcome to the stream. My mother sent me to school with a Tupperware lunchbox, and I was the only kid who didn't have a paper bag. Sore subject. I'm sorry, Robin. I never saw the lunch boxes though. I had my lunchbox was the metal lunchbox. I want to say that it was like the Justice League or something like that. It wasn't just one character. It was like superheroes of some, in the Justice League or something like that. I had it until about the mid 1990s. Yeah, I've never heard of that case either, but I'll check into it after the stream. You're not terribly attractive, Robin? Sorry. Attitudes towards older, the older I get, the more Tupperware and older stuff that I want. I think it's more nostalgic reasons, why I do it. Oh my God. I wanted a paper bag so bad. A lot of those 1970s, colors were not attractive, Starfire. I mean, the flour and sugar, the flour, sugar, and salt containers, it's a 5-piece set that we have on our counter. They're all orange, like the most god-awful orange. But then we have the measuring cups that are all yellow. And then we've got a lot of stuff. I mean, heck, it would take me a day just to go through it all. Then we have like the plastic bowls and lids, and we've got so much of it. I used to go to thrift stores and yard sales, and I still do to this day. Sometimes whenever I'm at a yard sale and I see something, I'll pick it up. The one that I'm trying to replace now is High C, the glass pitcher. The actual glass pitcher itself broke, but I still have the lid, because the lid was actually at the handle was made by Tupperware, but the actual glass thing went down like this, and it was for High C, orange juice, they called it. Trying to find another one of those. I'll find one. I probably could get one on eBay. They probably sell the whole thing. Deneen Bird, good afternoon from Delaware. How's everyone today? I'm doing good, Deneen. Welcome to the stream. I'm only going to go for a couple more minutes here, Deneen. You kind of caught the end of this, but you can watch it and rewind shortly after the stream is over with. It'll be on YouTube, so you can watch it again, the whole thing from beginning to end. A lunch tray in elementary school was 90 cents. My mom would give me 90 pennies, and I would hold up the line while the lunch lady counted it. Sorry about that, Colleen. I used to sell milk in the lunchroom. So all the other kids would come in, and for 2 cents, they got a milk. We didn't have chocolate milk. We only had milk. And I would sit there with a little plastic or in metal like tray thing. So the milk came in a metal container, like crate thing. And there was a little plastic tray that sat next to me, and I had a little bucket. And kids would come in and they wanted a milk, 2 cents. I would give them a milk, and they'd give me the 2 cents, and I put the 2 pennies in the bucket. That was my job at lunch. I sold milk. But lunch, I don't know how much the lunch trays were. I'm pretty sure they had lunch trays. I just don't remember what they would have even costed back then. But I was the milkman. Everybody had to come see me if they wanted milk with their lunch. Milk boy. Yep. Connie, you wanted a Partridge Family lunchbox? I didn't want a Partridge Family lunchbox, but I would love a television show like the Partridge Family again. That'd be great. Or, what was it? Eddie's father, the affair of Eddie's father, or whatever it was. Shows like that. Well, hell, I'd take a show like Fathers Knows Best, or My Three Sons, but it'd be overblown, and they'd have to add drama to it, and stuff to make it fit today, society. But we don't have shows like that anymore. And they got rid of them all in the name of progress. Mike, you hated the Partridge Family? I didn't. Mike Stevens, you're related. distantly to Shirley Jones, but you hated the Partridge Family? Connie Kelly says the lunch boxes were groovy, or the Partridge Families were groovy, man. Just groovy. Mary loved the little rascals, huh? Courtship of Eddie's Father. Thank you, Carrie. I knew somebody out there knew what I was talking about. Thank you very much. That was Bill Bixley. Some of you younger people may know Bill Bixley from Incredible Hulk. Okie dokie, I love you all. I gotta go play umpire with my grandkids. Hugs to you all. Bye, okie dokie. You have a great day. We're about to wrap up the stream here, and we got a couple more minutes, and then we're gonna have to let it go. Starfish, you had a crush on David Cassidy. David Cassidy, that was David Bonaducci's brother, the older one. Right? David Cassidy. Well, thank you, Reichardt. It's why I do it. I enjoy this. Even and people have always asked me, why don't you have a topic? Why don't you have a topic? You should have a topic. I enjoy this. This is relaxing for me, just to sit here and read, the comments and communicate with the people at large. This makes my week. I look forward to this every Saturday. Robin, you grew up with Nickelodeon? The Brady Bunch, Mike Stevens? Yep, my sister was president of the David Cassidy fan club. Wow. I don't know if I've ever joined I'm pretty sure I haven't. I don't think I've ever joined the fan club of any actor or actress. I know I have joined the fan club of a couple of bands. It's relaxing for me to makes me feel connected to talking to people. Same here, Short Nice. Same here. It's exactly why I do it. Now I want to check. It helps me keep up with people that I see. There's a disconnect between the comment section on videos and people commenting, and there's no way I can ever get to all of them. I'm one person. I have somebody who helps me with research, Mr. Davenport, but that's it. And this is a tiny little bit. He only helps me, once every 2 weeks. But, I can't keep up with the comments. If I stopped right now today, not making any new content at all, trust me, I'm not going to do it. But if I was to stop right now today, by tomorrow afternoon, I would have at least 3,000 comments. I have over 791 videos. So think of the last count I looked at. 791 videos. 180 plus Saturday morning live streams on top of the 791 videos. And then we're on week 12, 13 for the trivia, something like that. Hey, there's my beaver. Hey, sweetheart, how you doing? Good morning. I'm about to end the stream, sweetheart. But you can watch it and rewind. I hope you had a terrific week. Thank you again for all the hard work that you're doing on your channel. If you guys haven't checked out Leave It to Beaver, you need to go check out her channel. She does an excellent job on her content. And don't forget to check out Broken Justice and Checking Convictions as well. That's Linda. In case you're not familiar with the name Checking Convictions, that is Linda page. She's changed her name a couple of times, but people may know her more for one of the other ones. Now I'm drawing a freaking blank on the names, but go check out her channel. Love the Brady Bunch movies as well. Well, thank you, Robin. I appreciate it. I didn't know anything about it until, because obviously I wasn't there, but until he came back and then he was telling me about that I came up in an evening session at CrimeCon. They were talking about missing persons. And I used to do videos. Now, it's called the Charlie Project. You can look this up online yourself. Charlie Project, all one word, .org. All right. And she was interviewed by Nate from East Idaho News at this past CrimeCon. But it's called the Charlie, spelled with an Charlie Project. Just put that in all, not one word, but just put it into Google or whatever you use. She has the largest database in the world of missing persons. I think there are over 13 or 14,000 missing persons that are on just her page. Now, she doesn't dive into missing children so much, but these are missing adults for the most part. But I've been following her web page for years, and I used to do every once in a while, missing and exploited. I focus more towards children than adults, but William Molt that's how I got involved with that, along with Adventures for Purpose. That was what they originally were. They were called Adventures with Purpose, but I think they've changed their name just slightly. But the heavy hitters, Dr. Phil, Nancy Grace. Yeah, Robin, I haven't watched the Nancy Grace one though. But back to what I was saying about the Charlie Project. You can look it up online. Just put in Charlie Project, and it's when you look at it, you find it, the results. It's the only one that is the org, and you can look at missing persons cases from across the United States. But that's what started the conversation. Apparently at CrimeCon was I had reported on a couple of cases where there has been a lot of sensationalization and speculation that was out there. Before I did the William Molt story, and I did that with Vice TV. Excuse me. Before I did it with Vice TV, they're the only other content that was on YouTube, and they're all gone now. They've all deleted their lies and speculation. But before I'd done that, there was only one other video on YouTube that actually kind of touched on the case a little bit. But that's what brought up the conversation. And then there was another one about two other people, that I had done. One about a guy out of Arizona, which even though it's considered resolved, it isn't really resolved because they have never found a perpetrator who committed the actual crime itself. Yeah, you don't say. Right? But yeah, I mean, it was nice to actually have been brought up in a positive way, at CrimeCon. But that's not. I mean, it's nice to be, it's nice to be honored with that. It's nice to at the same time. Trying to think how I want to go with this. It's nice to be honored with somebody bringing me up in a positive light, in recognition at CrimeCon. But I mean, recognition to me and some of the things that I do is when I hear from the actual extended family members and the families themselves who thank me for making sure that the right information and I paid respect for towards the individual who was taken early. and not dwelled on, or focused on the actual perpetrator, that I gave background on the actual individual, the victim, and didn't focus on, the horrific, stories that were reported in the news. When I hear from those family victims, that's what helps me, and touches me the most. I mean, I could line up my walls with awards and letters of recognition and things that people have said. I could put on my YouTube, hey, I've done documentaries with Fox, Vice TV, and ABC News, NBC, and I could go on forever about all the accolades that have been, spelled upon me in the last 2.5 years. But all I'm doing is giving, fuel to the trolls, for them to, hey, look, he's gloating. I'm not gloating. I'm just telling you I've done things. But again, the hearing from the victims' families. But you'd be surprised how many people come out of the woodwork, though, who, try to say that they are part of the family, and you didn't get it right because they want you to back away because they're reporting on it. And they're keeping it sensationalized. So, broken justice. Hey, Bieber. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this up here. Thank you again. It's not all completely unheard of, Robin. And every time I find those channels out there that are doing a great job with it, I make sure I support them, and I'll give them a shout out to every one of my subscribers. Look, you got to check out this channel. And Beaver in Broken Justice and Linda over at Checking Convictions, you need to check out those channels. If you like what I'm doing on my channel, you're going to love what Beaver's doing, because she's not only putting in the same work, but she's putting herself into it, and the passion comes out through everything that she does. Check out one of her live streams. You feel like there's a boiling pot somewhere, it's like it's, because she's putting everything she's got into it, everything. And I really do respect what she's doing. And when you find those good channels out there, man, you got to hold on to them. You got to hold on to them tight, and kind of keep the, hope that the trolls and other haters out there don't get into it too much with them. But I have to go. Thank you, everyone. You all have a terrific week ahead. And don't forget, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, we will be doing true crime trivia tomorrow night at 7 p.m. like we do every Sunday. It's trivia, but this is general trivia. And if you're here now, and if you happen to check out the live stream, the trivia. Sorry, I got to remember I wrote that channel down to check it out in that case. But check out the trivia tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And I hope to see you all there. In the meantime, everyone have a great weekend and stay safe out there. And thank you, Carrie. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Mary, love to you, sweetheart. I'm going to keep on praying for you every night.